800 volts electric vehicle charging station who is fast, modern, and efficient. To brief you sa mga topics na itatackle natin for today, so the first one is what are electric cars and what is an 800 volts charging station. Next, what are its opportunities and its sustainabilities. So una, syempre, we must know what is an electric vehicle. So by definition, an electric vehicle runs on electric motors powered by rechargeable batteries instead of gasoline. Just plug it in to charge, no fuel, no fumes, just smooth and instant accelerations. So alam naman natin yan siguro ngayon in our current times, imposible naman na hindi pa tayo nakakakita ng electric vehicle ni isang beses, especially in the metro. Ito na lumalaganap and siguro malapit niya ng palitan yung mga traditional cars na meron tayo. So, an individual saves up to 1,000 to 1,500 pesos in expenses when using electric vehicles compared to traditional vehicles. So, mas malaki yung mga natitipid ng mga may electric vehicles na driver since less maintenance, less oil changes, and wala ng gas. Especially ngayon na tumataas na ang usage ng mga, I would say green energy and mas nakakales sa bill ng kuryente. So, on average, 1,275 pesos ang natitipid ng isang electric vehicle owner. 23% doon is for electricity and 44% para sa fuel consumption. Next, kailangan naman natin maintindihan kung paano nagana ang isang electric vehicle. So, there are 4 units that is taken into consideration. The first one is the control unit. By definition, it manages the flow of electricity all throughout the vehicle, making the electronics work and other systems to ensure a smooth and efficient ride experience. So unang-una yung control unit. Kumbaga in a computer, siya yung CPU. Kailangan niya ng isang electric vehicle since madami siyang mga nag-work na functions like acceleration, control sa satellite imaging, control sa back camera, parking. So madaming electronics na ginagamit ang isang electric vehicle and especially para mapatakbo yung motor niya. Kasi kung walang control unit, hindi tatakbo at hindi gagana ng maayos ang isang electric vehicle. Next is the drive part. Isa sa mga pinaka-importante na part ng isang electric vehicle kasi ito yung nagpapagalaw. Kung wala ito, hindi gagalaw ang isang electric vehicle kahit na gumagana ang control unit. Since kung wala namang patatakbuhin ang electricity, wala rin namang gagalaw. Andito yung gulong, andito yung mga steering wheels, andito yung mga drive shafts, andito yung gear changes para mapagana yung isang electric vehicle. So the next one is the behavior. So by definition, it describes how the electric vehicle responds during driving, offering instant acceleration, quiet operation, and improving driving efficiency. So yung behavior, siya yung nagde-detect kung ano nga bang ginagawa ng isang electric vehicle while nagda-drive ka. So para makapag-adjust, especially ngayon na lumalaganap na ang self-driving technology. So isa yun sa mga kailangan na part ng self-driving technology since para ma-adjust na yung kotse, ma-adjust na yung navigation para mas maging safe yung rider and mas maging overall enjoyable yung experience. So the last one is its sustainability. So we all know naman na ang electric vehicle does not use gasoline anymore. It just needs electricity to charge up the battery, then you are good to go. So it reduces carbon emissions and reliance on fossil fuels, making transportation cleaner and more environmentally friendly. And hindi lang naman yung rider ang nagbe-benefit, kundi yung environment din natin. Since we all know na matagal nang laganap yung mga traditional cars and malaki rin yung naging epekto nito para sa environment natin. And mas madumi yung air. And with electric vehicles na lumalaganap ngayon, mas nagiging cleaner yung riding experiences natin while offering the same, I would say, convenience for the driver. So, what are the advantages of electric vehicles? So, I highlighted 5 that I think is the most important in electric vehicles. So, number 1, yung instant power. So, hindi na kailangan, I would say, siguro dun sa mga traditional cars, di ba may mga gear changes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, doon, hindi instant yung acceleration. So, kailangan mo munang dumaan sa gear 1, dumaan sa gear 2, hanggang bumilis ka ng bumilis. But in electric vehicles, it can accelerate quickly nang walang engine delay. So, no need to worry about holding the clutch, no worry about yung timing, kung paano mo ta-timingan yung acceleration and yung clutch. So, by that, malaki ang naitutulong ng electric vehicles, especially sa mga may mga stoplight or mga fast changing lanes. So next is a quiet ride. So hindi na siya maingay. Parang may nag-hum na lang sa loob kasi hindi niya na kailangan ng mga moving parts sa engine. Like tulad sa mga traditional cars na yung mga pistons niya, malakas yung nagiging tunog. Like and hindi siya hearing friendly dun sa mga, I would say, sa mga taong syempre pagod galing trabaho and they want a quiet ride, so hindi siya applicable. But with electric vehicles, kayang i-achieve niya nun. So next one is low maintenance. So yung electric vehicles, no need na ng mga oil changes, no need na ng engine maintenance, no need na ng cleaning ng engine, since lahat ng yon is operated electrically. So hindi na kailangan ng gasoline na or mga oils para lang mapagana ng smooth yung sasakyan. So less gastos. Next one is zero emission. So it is cleaner for the environment since hindi na siya nag-i-emit ng carbon, lalo na sa tambucho, and especially now, yun yung nakakasira sa environment natin and hindi rin maganda sa tao. And lastly is you can just charge it at home. You can just charge it at home like your phone. Like hindi na kailangan pumunta ng gasoline stations para magpagas, or you could just do it at your home na charge lang, plug it in, then you are good to drive. Now, I will introduce to you to the 800 volts charging stations. So, what was the trend? Unang-una kailangan natin munang malaman kung anong history niya, kung bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng 800 volts charging stations. So, when electric vehicles were first introduced for public use, 400 volts talaga yung naging option. Kasi yun pa lang yung kaya ng technology natin within that time. Most charging stations operated at around 400 volts, which matched the standard voltage architecture for early electric vehicles. Cars like Tesla Model 5 and Nissan Leaf were designed for 400 volts. So, yung mga example ng cars na yon, isa sila sa mga naging prominent na 400 volts users. And 90% sa mga cars na pinroduced between 2010 and 2019 were using 400 volts as it was the standard at that time. Next, why do we need to move beyond 400 volts? So first, it has high current limitations. 400 volt system require high current for fast charging, results in current losses and increased thermal load. Malaki yung nagiging epekto nung 400 volts na capacity niya. So, since dito sa diagram natin, in the power relationship diagram, at constant power, for example, 150 kilowatts ang hinihila niya for the load. So, at 400 volt system, 375 amperes yung pinoproduce na current nung 400 volt system. While at the 800 volt systems, it is only 187 amperes. So halos kalahati yung binaba nung ampere capacity. So with that, this increase in current leads to higher current losses, meaning more energy is lost as heat in cables and components. So yung mga current losses na yun, I would say, nako-convert sila into thermal energy, which causes heat. So mas nagiging prominent yung thermal loads, mas tumataas yung temperature ng cables, nababawasan yung efficiency ng charging station or ng charging cables. As heat increases, overall system efficiency decreases and thermal stress rises. Next is the charging speed bottleneck. Charging must taper at high SOC, limits ultra-fast charging capability. So first, what is SOC? So kumbaga ito yung supercharging effect niya. So by pag nasaksak na natin siya, it automates the load that kung kaya naman ng device na mag-receive ng higher loads, bibigyan niya ng bibigyan. But 400 volt system can charge fast at low SOC but slows down near higher SOC. So pag tumataas yung SOC, mas tumataas yung load, bumabagal na siya since hindi hinaan niya na yung bigay ng power since tumataas yung temperature. Since the power relationship limited voltage means higher current is needed, which causes current losses and heat. So yung kanina nga, according to the power relationship, more amperes increases the heat, especially in the cables, na nababawasan yung efficiency ng charging station. To protect the lithium-ion battery, the system reduces charging speed to avoid overheating and stress. So we all know naman na prominent ang lithium-ion to break with high temperatures. So by that, binababaan ng 400 volts charging stations yung bilis and yung load ng charger para maiwasan yung high temperatures. Next is yung infrastructure scaling issues. Thicker cables, heavier components, reduced efficiency at higher power levels. Yung mga 400 volts charging stations, or I would say the charging docks, malaki yung ginagamit yung mga wires. Since kailangan niya nga masustain yung heat, kailangan niya masustain yung thermal stress, mas kinakailangan ng higher insulation para mas mabawasan yung current losses. Thicker cables affects space management, leading to cramped spaces and reduced efficiency at higher power due to temperature. So pag nagdikit-dikit yung mga cables, and mas nagpo-produce yun ng heat kasi mas nagdidikit-dikit sila and yung heat from one cable to another nagpapasa lang. So with that, malaki yung naging epekto niya lalo na sa pagde-design and paglalagay niya into cramped spaces kasi mas mahirap na siyang i-manage since mas malalaki yung cable siya ginagamit niya compared to 800 volt system. Now, I would like to introduce to you the 800 volts charging station. To give an overview of 800 volts architecture, first, it draws a lot more power. 800 is much higher than 400 volts. Next is that the higher voltage, it means a lower current for the same power. Next is that it has less heat loss, improved efficiency, and lighter cables. And it results in faster charging times. And it is used in modern electric vehicles like Porsche Taycan. A Porsche Taycan is a high-power electric vehicle. So, kailangan ng isang charging station or a charger para masustain yung requirements ng isang powerful electric vehicle. And an 800 volts charging station gives that requirement. Next, kailangan muna nating malaman how does an 800 volts charging works. 800 volt systems deliver the same power using higher voltage and lower current. From the diagram I have shown earlier, at constant power na 150 kilowatts, the 400 volt systems draw 375 amperes while the 800 volt system draw at around 180 plus amperes. So by that, halos kalahati yung dinadrop ng isang 800 volts charging station in terms of current. So it results in reducing heat and energy loss. This improves the efficiency and allows much faster DC fast charging. Next, ano ba ang requirements ng isang 800 volts charging station or an 800 volts system? So una, kailangan niya ng high power DC fast chargers na kayang maabot ang 150 to 350 kilowatts. So, since mas patataas na mga power requirements ang kailangan ng electric vehicles nowadays, kailangan makasabay ng mga chargers. Next, since mas malaki and mas madami yung mapoproduce since less na yung cramped spaces, kailangan din ng heavy duty cooling systems para hindi mag-init yung mga systems natin and para mas masustain yung efficiency. And lastly, a high voltage safety protection, specifically greater insulations or much better insulations and powerful breakers. Next, what are the advantages of 800 volt systems? So first one, it has a faster charging times since mas less na yung heat, so mas makakapag-draw na makakapagbigay ng output ng mas consistent yung charger kasi hindi niya na kailangang isipin na baka mag-init siya, and yung SoC mas ma-maintain. Next is that it has a higher efficiency and less energy loss. Since mas mababa na nga yung temperature rise, mas hindi na maiisip ng system na baka uminit siya. So, mas tataas yung efficiency niya since hindi niya na kailangan mag-step down para mabawasan or hindi mag-init yung system. Next naman is that it has a lower heat generation. Since mas mababa na yung current draw niya, mas mababa yung heat na, or mas mababa yung energy loss na nako-convert into thermal energy. So, mas lalamig or mas less yung init dun sa mga cables and insulations. Next is that it has a lighter and thinner cables. So, since hindi niya na kailangan ng thick insulations para ma-maintain yung heat, mas light na yung cables na ginagamit niya. Next is that it has a better performance for high-power electric vehicles. So earlier from the overview, like the Porsche Taycan needs an 800 volts charging station or an 800 volts charger para ma-sustain yung requirements niya for power. So an 800 volt systems just do that. So mas kaya niyang mag-charge ng mga high-power electric vehicles, especially yung mga mas lumalaganap ngayon yung mga sports electric vehicles. So with that, mas kaya niyang mag-charge and ma-maintain yung power requirements ng isang high-power electric vehicle. Next, what are its challenges and limitations? So first one is that it has a high cost. Since bago pa lang yung technology and hindi pa siya nalalaganap all throughout the world, mas mahal siya compared to 400 volts which was the standard back then. So, yung 800 volts components, like let's say yung mga fast charging stations na kanina na kailangan na required siya, mas mahal yon compared to 400 volts. Since yung 400 volts commercially available na siya and anyone can manufacture it, mas mura yon compared to 800 volts na lumalaganap pa lang. Next, that it has a limited 800 volts charging stations. Since yun nga, it correlates from the hindi pa siya na manufacture ng mabilis and ng madami. Kaya mas limitado yung options, mas limitado yung spaces, mas limitado yung mga stations. So hindi siya everywhere, unlike a 400 volt charging system na even in malls, even in random streets, makakakita ka. Next is yung compatibility issues niya with 400 volt systems. So not every 800 volts systems is compatible sa 400 volt systems. For example, kung mag-charge ka ng isang 800 volts electric vehicle and required yon and strictly required na 800 volts, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-charge sa isang 400 volts charger. Next is mas complex yung design niya. Since bago pa lang siya ngayon, hindi pa nakakahanap yung mga scientists and researchers ng ways para mas mapadali yung overall structure ng system niya. So with that, mas mahirap siyang i-maintain, mas mahirap siyang aralin, and mas mahirap siyang gawin. Kaya mas mahal. Next, isa to sa mga considerations na tinake ng 800 volts system is it is yung backward compatibility. 800 volts electric vehicles can charge on 400 volts chargers. So kanina, it was a challenge for an 800 volt systems, but taken into considerations na kailangan pa rin na hindi pa rin laganap yung 800 volts. So the researchers made sure na dapat yung 800 volts electric vehicles can still charge at 400 volt systems, but we should expect a slower charging time since sabi nga kanina, mas more yung heat and mas less yung power. Mas mabagal yung magiging charging niya. Next, that it uses a DC to DC conversion or battery splitting. So with a DC to DC conversion or battery splitting, mas nagiging less yung stress dun sa battery para mas maging safe yung battery and mas magamit siya ng mas matagal. Next, how does it relate to chemistry? So the first one is with electrochemical reactions. Electric vehicle batteries operate through electrochemical redox reactions involving lithium-ion intercalation and deintercalations. So we all know naman na redox reactions yung nangyayari sa loob ng battery. So it is a matter na nagpo-produce yung dalawang elements or compounds dun sa loob ng battery, nagpo-produce siya ng electricity para mapagana yung electric vehicle natin. So next one is the reaction kinetics. Higher charging power increases ion diffusion rates and electrode reaction kinetics. So, yung yung mas mataas na power na yon, mas nagbibigay ng activity sa loob ng charger. Ibig sabihin no, nagtutuloy-tuloy yung power output ng battery and mas nagiging maintain yung driving experience and mas nagiging tuloy-tuloy yung power draw and mas nagiging efficient yung overall driving experience. Next one is thermal effects. High current density causes Joule heating, which accelerates temperature-dependent side reactions. So kanina, tulad niya nung kanina, mas na more na nagiinit yung battery, mas tumataas yung temperature niya, which leads into a lesser efficiency na that could be a risk na syempre baka masira or sumabog yung battery. So next one is the material and electrolyte stability. Battery performance depends on electrolyte stability, electrode chemistry, and SEI or solid electrolyte interface formations. So it is directly linked to redox reactions. So kung maganda yung redox reaction dun sa loob ng battery and na-maintain yun by high power, high and consistent power, mas nagiging performing yung battery compared sa isang 400 volt systems na pabago-bago yung power niya since kailangan niya mag-tone down para ma-meet yung temperature requirements. Now, what does it mean for us or the future users of electric vehicles? The future of electric vehicle charging is expected to expand since mas lumalaganap nga ang electric vehicles dito sa mundo, especially in the Philippines. We should expect na mas dadami yung mga stations, especially the 800 volts since now it is the trend. Higher voltage systems beyond 800 volts such as 1000 volts architectures may also be developed. So yun nga, tulad dun sa 400 volts na develop yung 800 volts. So we should expect na baka makagawa pa ng ng more than 800 volts like 1000 volts, 1200 and even up to 2000 volts. Kasi nga mas lumalaganap yung requirements ng mga electric vehicles. Especially now with the USA and the Iran conflict, with the fuel scarcity na nangyayari especially in Southeast Asia, mas lumalaganap talaga yung electric vehicles and mas nagiging, I would say, efficient and less costly ang pagdadrive ng electric vehicles in these countries. Next is that more electric vehicles will adopt 800 volts platforms. So padami na ng padami yung kotse ngayon na nade-develop, the researchers and the manufacturers opt to require their electric vehicles to be charged at 800 volts. While charging infrastructure continues to improve and integrate with smart grids and renewable energy sources. So with ngayon kasi, gumagamit pa rin ng fossil fuels yung mga charging stations para masuplayan. But now na mas lumalaganap yung green energy, we should expect na mas magre-rely dito yung mga charging stations in the near future. To conclude this topic, 800 volts charging systems significantly improve electric vehicle performance by enabling faster charging, higher efficiency, and reduced energy loss. Although they require more advanced and costly infrastructures, they represent an important step toward the future of electric mobility and widespread electric vehicles adoption. And that wraps up our topic for today. I would like to give thanks to all the listeners and a warm thank you for my professor, Engineer Adonis P. Adornado, MSCHE, for giving me the opportunity to tackle this topic and further improve my knowledge in my electrical engineering field. Thank you.